ഇവിടുത്തെ അമ്മ MA വരെ പഠിച്ചതാണ്. ഓള് ജോലിക്ക് പോകണമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് അന്ന് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ അച്ഛൻ പറഞ്ഞത് കേട്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ടെന്താ, മക്കളെല്ലാം നല്ല നിലയിലായി. വീട്ടിലൊരു പെണ്ണുള്ളത് വീടിനൊരു ഐശ്വര്യ. കളക്ടർമാരും മന്ത്രിമാരും ഒക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്നതിനേക്കാളും വലുതല്ലേ നിങ്ങളൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്നത്?
So the Great Indian Kitchen tells the story of a girl getting married into a very, very traditional Hindu family and how she tries to fit in. The movie is for you if you want to watch something entirely different. A movie that doesn't follow the usual pattern of an Indian movie. There are almost no song, there's definitely no fights. Most of the character doesn't even have a name. If you're into Japanese movie and you like the slow pace of this movie, I think you may like this one. And I also think that most of women will either relate or at least understand the main character's problem. And I truly believe that this movie will make you think about society. So this Malayalam movie is mainly focused on the daily chores that is done in this house. The heroine, called Dear, gets married into this household and she looks happy when it happened. At first, things weren't so bad as there were 2 women to take care of everything around the house, Dear and her mother-in-law. But mother-in-law had to leave the house to help her daughter who's super duper pregnant, and Dear will be quickly overwhelmed by this life and she will quickly come to hate this life. The movie has a slow pace and it may not be your cup of tea. Most of the time, it really feels like a ASMR movie. I think this is how we call that. It's just layers of sounds like chopping, chop, 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 frying. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. So chopping, frying, bird chipping, and you're cooking or cleaning or doing something that I usually hate, like dishwashing. Ugh. And the movie is dead set to point out the consequences of being a woman in a very patriarchal society. In this house, we soon realize that being a wife is just a glorified title that gives you the right to clean the house, to cook, to be the sexual partner if the husband is in the mood. The mother-in-law is basically her husband's babysitter. I mean, how can a grown-ass man can't put some toothpaste on his brush? The movie cleverly shows all the bad aspects like financial illiteracy, weaponized incompetence, how men do not respect the women in the house, and how they couldn't care less about their daily struggles. The women eat only after the men of the house are full, and those men just leaves a mess on the table. And Dear is kinda disgusted when she tries to eat her breakfast. I mean, yucks! Look at that. That is disgusting. Dear, you're so right to be this disgusted. And then she sees her mother-in-law being unbothered by this mess table. She says nothing and she eats after cleaning a bit. And it's just that. The worst is when she has a period. So you should know that when someone is having their period, that person is not pure. So Dear can't do shit and she's not allowed to touch anything in the house. And all she can do is just spending the day in a tiny room. And then she has to clean herself and all the stuff she used when she had a period. And I can't emphasize enough, the treatment of all these sensitive issues are portrayed in such a realistic way, and it's just good. The movie included the Sabarimala verdict. Quick explanation, this temple never allowed any woman of reproductive age to enter in this temple. I won't go into detail, but long story short, the verdict allowed all women to enter this temple and it became a huge mess. You can get an idea of this mess if you watch the movie. Wink wink. And if you don't understand, I was just suggesting in a very nondescript way to watch the movie. Dia tried to escape from this life in her own way. She tried to apply for a job, but the father-in-law was like, nah, we're not that kind of family. I mean, you're already the daughter-in-law of such a prestigious family. Blah, blah, blah. But we all know how this is gonna end. And that man is so sneaky. I just want to punch him in the face. Monsieur wants the rice cooked in a certain way, a dish called chutney made in a traditional way. You can always argue that it's not wrong to have their own taste. I mean, I love my chocolate in a certain way and I tend to give a very detailed order when I go to my Starbucks. But come on, this is time consuming and it's really tiring. Can you imagine cooking so many dishes in a traditional way like every day? I know I can't, and that's why I'm so in love with my Magimix blender. Dia tried to use a blender to grind the chutney and the man was like, so passive aggressive. And her husband is no gift either. I can't really blame the guy because the man grew up watching his parents and I guess he expects the same dynamic in his couple. So yeah, I don't really know what to think about this man, but he's not helping her at all. He doesn't care about her feeling and her well-being. The man was robbed in a very wrong way when she suggested some kind of foreplay because doing the devil's tango hurt her. Yeah, that's the kind of man she was married to. And it's all those little things that keeps escalating and Dia just couldn't take it anymore. And then bam, she leaves this hell with a bang. I really like this movie because for me it was not a movie. It was definitely an experience. I've never seen a movie portraying in such a beautiful way how hard it is to be a stay-at-home Indian woman. Of course, not everyone is living this kind of life. They show an example of what I think is a normal husband and wife dynamic. In one scene, if I remember right, I think it's the couple sitting on the stairs or something. The movie really felt different and I enjoyed every bit of the movie. I loved the ending of the movie. On one hand, we realize that sometimes some people will never change. We see the husband with a new wife telling that his first marriage was a mistake. And I can only guess that the man never took a moment to reflect on himself and try to understand if he had a part in this failing marriage. And the second marriage just proves that any woman will be enough as long as she just does her job and nothing else. And that's sad and yet not shocking at all. And on the other end, Dia just stood up for herself in the most awesome way. And I love the last part when she's going back to her home. This scene has this je ne sais quoi that makes it so awesome. And this experience made her different and we see a big shift in the epilogue. She's more confident and there's this song, Oh Mama. The dance is just damn and the lyrics double damn. And if you're interested, just so you know, it's available on YouTube with English subtitle, depending on the country you live in. And also, don't watch the movie on an empty stomach. You will quickly get hungry. See you next time.